Why no amount of money can make the Saudi Pro League a top 3 global football league? Saudi Arabia has made it clear that it wants to turn the Saudi Pro League, SPL, into one of the most powerful football leagues in the world, with billions spent on signing superstars like Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, and Karim Benzema. They've positioned themselves as a league willing to do whatever it takes to challenge Europe's dominance. However, no amount of money can change certain realities about football. Football isn't just about how much you can spend. It's about culture, tradition, and global appeal. And when you compare the SPL to the Premier League, La Liga, or even Serie A, it becomes clear that Saudi Arabia faces too many obstacles to ever become a truly elite league. Welcome to The Football Scientist, where we analyze football like no one else. Today, we're looking at why the Saudi Pro League, despite all the money, will never be a top 3 league in world football, where the Saudi Pro League ranks right now. If money was the only factor, the SPL would already be among the best leagues in the world. But looking at global rankings based on league quality, competitiveness, and infrastructure, the SPL is nowhere near the top. It currently ranks below Major League Soccer, MLS, in the United States, and is not even among the top 20 leagues in the world in terms of depth, player development, or overall competitiveness. The English Premier League, La Liga, and Bundesliga dominate the rankings because they offer a combination of high-quality football, global fan engagement, and a rich history of success. Even leagues like the Eredivisie in the Netherlands and the Portuguese Primeira Liga, despite having smaller budgets, are still more respected worldwide because they consistently produce top-tier talent and perform well in European competitions. The problem of football culture. One of the biggest reasons the SPL can't break into the elite level is that football is more than just a business. It's a culture. In countries like England, Spain, Italy, Germany, Brazil, and Argentina, football is a way of life. Generations of fans have followed their clubs, passing down traditions, rivalries, and deep emotional connections. The SPL lacks this kind of deep-rooted footballing culture. While there are passionate fans in Saudi Arabia, the league itself hasn't built the same kind of multi-generational loyalty seen in Europe or South America. When people think of football, they think of the Premier League, the Champions League, and the World Cup, not the SPL. Without that emotional connection, attracting a loyal global audience is nearly impossible. The issue of competitiveness and structure. A top league needs balance. The reason the Premier League is so popular is that on any given weekend, even smaller clubs can beat the giants. In contrast, the SPL is completely dominated by a handful of teams: Al Hilal, Al Nassr, Al Ittihad, and Al Ahly, all of which receive heavy financial backing, while the rest of the league struggles to keep up. A league where only a few clubs are competitive is not appealing to fans. This is why leagues like the Bundesliga, where Bayern Munich wins almost every season, receive criticism. Even in Spain, Real Madrid and Barcelona have dominated for years, but teams like Atletico Madrid, Sevilla, and Villarreal have kept the league interesting. In the SPL, the gulf between the top teams and the rest is enormous, making the league predictable and less exciting for neutrals. Saudi clubs versus the best teams in the world. To be considered among the best leagues, SPL clubs would need to compete with and beat top European teams in major competitions. The FIFA Club World Cup has provided a glimpse of how Saudi clubs stack up against the best, and the results are telling. Al Hilal, one of the strongest Saudi clubs, reached the Club World Cup final, but was comfortably beaten 5-3 by Real Madrid. While the scoreline suggests a competitive match, Madrid dominated large portions of the game, showing the gap between elite European clubs and the best Saudi teams. If Al Hilal, with all its resources and international signings, still struggles against the best teams in the world, it proves that the overall league quality is still far from competing at the highest level. The problem with imported stars. One of the main reasons people are talking about the SPL is because of the influx of superstar signings. But there's a big difference between signing top players at their peak and attracting aging stars looking for one last big paycheck. Cristiano Ronaldo joined Al Nassr at 37 years old. Karim Benzema moved to Al Ittihad at 35. Neymar joined Al Hilal, but injuries have kept him out for most of his time there. While these players bring global attention, they are not helping to build a sustainable league. A real top-tier league develops its own stars. Look at La Liga, which nurtured players like Lionel Messi, Andres Iniesta, and Sergio Ramos. The Bundesliga produced Robert Lewandowski, Joshua Kimmich, and Erling Haaland. The SPL does not have a strong youth development system, meaning that once the money stops flowing, the league will struggle to maintain its status. Lack of global exposure. One of the biggest indicators of a league's success is its global television audience. The Premier League generates billions in TV revenue, with deals spanning nearly every country in the world. La Liga also boasts massive international viewership. The SPL, however, struggles to secure TV deals outside of Saudi Arabia and a few neighboring countries. People might watch highlights of Ronaldo or Neymar, but they aren't tuning in to watch a full match between Al Fateh and Al Tawun. Without global TV exposure, the league will never generate the kind of worldwide engagement necessary to compete with the top European leagues. Cultural and logistical barriers. Saudi Arabia's strict cultural policies also create obstacles for its football ambitions. One of the biggest concerns raised during their bid to host the 2034 World Cup was the absence of alcohol at stadiums and fan zones. For many international fans, football is more than just the 90 minutes on the pitch. It's about the entire match-day experience. Meeting at pubs, pre-game rituals, and post-match celebrations are all part of football culture. Additionally, the lack of freedom for fan expression at matches contrasts with the traditions seen in European and South American leagues, where fans openly protest club owners, chant for their teams, and create massive atmospheres. This difference makes it harder for the SPL to attract international fans who are used to a certain football culture. Final verdict: the SPL will never be a top 3 league. Saudi Arabia's financial power has helped elevate its league, but money alone does not create greatness. The world's best leagues have built their status through history, fan culture, competitive balance, and global exposure, things that cannot be bought overnight. The lack of deep footballing culture in Saudi Arabia means the league struggles to attract loyal global fans. The SPL has become a retirement league for aging stars rather than a destination for peak talent. Global exposure is minimal. Fans still overwhelmingly prefer the Premier League, La Liga, and Bundesliga. Cultural differences and restrictions make it difficult for the league to integrate into mainstream global football culture. Saudi clubs still struggle against the best European teams, proving the overall level is not there yet. The SPL may continue to make headlines with big-name signings, but its long-term sustainability remains uncertain. If history has shown us anything, it's that leagues built purely on financial power, like the Chinese Super League, ultimately fade when the money dries up. This has been The Football Scientist. Do you think Saudi Arabia will eventually break into the football elite, or will their project fail? Let us know.